Well, I've known John since middle school. I've known John since about 1990, and he and I have been in bands off and on since high school. And so we've been playing together for a long time. John and I were in a cover band, and we were performing at a charity event. I was approached by DeWitt.
I think I saw Jim, John, and they were playing in a cover band. And I walked over and I saw them playing, and I heard it was rock.
And he came up to me and said he had a lot of songs that he had written, and he was looking for a band. He had been doing kind of the singer-songwriter solo gig. And so he gave me a shout a few months after meeting him and came over literally with a notebook about this thick of ideas and songs.
It took us about a month and a half or so to even kind of get together down in the basement and walked down there and started playing, and John came down.
And from there, we were practicing in John's basement, so it was only natural for John to get on board.
He liked what he heard, so he came down and we started playing.
Me, DeWitt, and Jim, but we were struggling to like fill out the group.
Well, the catalyst was, of course, Jesse and Shane.
I met the guys at a charity festival in Dahlonega, which is actually my hometown. I noticed that they were completely all original music, and that was where I wanted to go. I feel awkward sometimes because I always thought that my stage fright was resolved by having a guitar in front of me, because I had a little separation from the audience, and I have fears of like public speaking and everything. Like, I just don't like crowds, which is kind of odd, but this band has really pulled me out of that mental state of needing to have a guitar in front of me, and I think in my mind, it clicks for me that this is like the big deal.
When Jesse showed up and then Shane, it was incredible.
About 2 years ago, I got kind of pissed off at the Atlanta music scene because it's really heavy laden with tribute acts. Got my juices going a little bit and made me want to be a more impactful part of our music scene. So I started producing events. There were these people that were still having enough, courage to get their balls kicked off through the business, because it's tough. And these guys came and played in Buckhead and blew the doors away off of the event. And 2 weeks later, John called me and said, "Hey, we've got a thing happening. Our drummer is too busy to play the schedule that we're playing and needs to sort of back away." And that led to me coming to first practice.
When those two guys came on, it was on. Like, the group had formed.
And now we have the crew that's in place for the long ride.
And the Last Chance Riders, I would say, was born at that time.
First recorded tracks was in June at Sonica Studios. We originally wanted to get in and record, like 4 to 6 songs, but we ended up just killing it and just recording like a full 8-track album.
Recording in the studio, it's a lot harder than it appears.
This song is like unstable all the way through.
This whole band is unstable.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, no,
It's out of order.
it does feel very disconnected, and I think it just we need to like drive it and be really simple.
And it really helps when you're prepared and you get there and you know exactly what you're gonna do.
It's just outlining the chords. It's not that much movement.
I've already got it worked out.
Here,
I have a zip drive.
I told you he's a fucking alien. He's like, I've already worked it out mathematically in my brain.
John Briglovich, the producer, how he added in his input and told us, try this or play this way or try this strum pattern.
It was nerve-wracking, extremely.
Even before getting to the studio, rehearsing to a click track and making sure we knew exactly what we were going to do when we got there. We didn't go back and like second guess ourselves. It was raw and dirty and real, and it was a great experience. Man, he took it to the next level. He really made an amazing album, and we couldn't have done it without him.
Because I'm too lazy to spin it.
I'd never done anything like that, and we scheduled it. We were nervous that anybody was even going to show up. We wanted to really have a real rock and roll show, and we wanted it to be indicative of our scene.
Having actors play alongside with the lead singer, that concept was a good call. I want to do a shout out to Century Studios. Great direction and crew.
Made a cool rock and roll video together was one of the most surprising, cool things I've ever done.
Obviously we needed a crowd for the shoot to make the video look better, and
you pull up into this place and it's a hard town. You're just hoping that your car's still there when it gets, you know what I mean? It's a rough area.
So we had food was catered in, and then our sponsor, Four Roses Bourbon, brought a lot of alcohol, and it was on a Wednesday at noon. And I think people just passing by the venue got word of this, and so just random people off the street started coming in. And the food was like 2 hours late, so the crowd had been drinking for a good hour and a half. So everybody was really sauced up when we started playing, and it just made it even better. We try to plan out, short-term goals and then longer-term goals, and man, we're going all the way. We're going as far as we can take it, and we have big plans for the future.
Bigger shows.
To really step it up to the next level.
Madison Square Garden. That's the plans for the future, right?
Keeps getting better.
I like guns, guitars, big trucks, and fast cars.
Take two.
Own it.
But that's it.